Here we have the US dollar, and it is climbing. This is the Dixie, and this is the daily chart, right? So I put in my trend lines. I want you guys to be all kind of focused on the trend lines here. But here we clearly see that the Dixie continues to move up. It is higher today. If I zoom in, I'll show you here. The dollar, again, on the back of this news, is going higher. So here you are, right? This is today's candle right here, and that, again, is moving up. Now, again, I'm a skeptic. I think that we're closer to the end of the dollar run than the beginning. But again, news like today, you're watching for the price action. And I'm going to tell you this, guys. When you see good economic news and the dollar actually reverses, that's a signal of a top. It's kind of like what we're seeing in Bitcoin right now, where in Bitcoin, we see how good news continues to be a sell-off factor, right? So going to yesterday, this is the 10-minute chart on Bitcoin yesterday. We did see this big pop on an intraday basis when ARK Invest filed for an ETF for Ethereum. But look at this is the 10-minute chart. So literally you had this, it was breaking down, and then Bitcoin surged on the back of that news, and then literally within 20, 30 minutes, it gave up the entire gain. We saw that with Grayscale. Within 2 days, we gave up the news on Grayscale, Ripple within 1 day. And again, this is the type of stuff that tells you as a price figure that price action is still bearish when it can't hold good news gains. On the other side, when we go back to the US dollar, that's something I watch for as well. So in this situation, we are seeing the dollar actually starting to pull back. So again, this is something I pay attention to, right? Think about it. All it is inverse, right? If you're rooting for the dollar to go down, or even if you don't care like me and you just want to be able to trade it, you have to look for these signals. So what did we just see on the Bitcoin chart? Bitcoin generally has been bearish because every time it gets good news, it pops, right? It pops, and then it reverses that move to the downside, okay? Now here on the dollar, and this is still early in the day, but here we had that news, the good economic news, the dollar popped on the 10-minute chart, and look at what's happening to the dollar right back down. So that's something that I'm going to pay attention to. I'm not going to say it's anything significant yet, but again, as I said, based on my analysis, there's far too many people now bullish on the US dollar, and that concerns me as it usually signals a top. In addition, if you go to the daily chart of the US dollar, look at the run the dollar's had. I mean, in all fairness, if you look at this chart, this is a chart that probably is getting closer to the end of its run than the beginning, and that's what we're going to see. Maybe it gets up here, which is just a little higher, about 50 cents higher on the Dixie, but either way, to me, this is starting to look like an extended chart.